officially open our meeting then.
Yeah, I mean, I think I'm just doing the overview for us that are here. We
Right.
have one table that's 8 feet long. I don't know who we're next to. The National Resources people are giving away pollinator kits of 9 plants,
Wow.
like they did last year. And the library is giving away tree saplings. And only one I know is redbud. Maybe somebody else knows the other species. And then and they are also talking about doing demonstrating jug planting. And I don't know if I'm supposed to do that or not. So I'll contact Laura Mills and see whether I should do that at our table or do it with her at her table. There are still plants that don't need cold stratification that can be planted. 6 to 8 weeks prior to frost is a good time. Haven't heard anything from Stan about how to talk to your landscapers. From Wilson Kerr's talk, sort of have a list of what we are hoping people will ask their landscapers to not use. Let me text Mark and see if he's coming. Okay. And I haven't seen Steve Verrill. I don't know how he's, last meeting he was sick, so I don't know what's up.
Well, tonight's meeting, the agenda I got from Mark, the Zoom connection was not the current one. I had to go to the town website to get the correct Zoom connection. Unless I got something completely wrong.
So Leah, do you want to tell us what you've been working on? Or or do you want to go last? You're muted, so we can't hear you.
Oh, there we go. Sorry.
Okay.
Yeah, I think per the summary from the last meeting and what Mark sent out is I need to do some research on neonics and pesticides, and then also trying to get a potential petition rolling for maybe the town of Concord to maybe ban.
I think the main thing is if you could work on the petition. I think we've got a lot of materials on neonics and that kind. I don't think you need to redo that. We have Wilson Kerr's article. We have the handout from the Xerces Society. And I was going to take the list that Wilson Kerr had put together and make a two-sided, these are the chemicals you don't want.
Yeah. Yeah, it's my goal this weekend is to sit down and put some time on the petition.
Well, I think that the petition probably already exists. That's why I said info people's whatever. So you might just shoot them an email and say, can you just send me what you have for a petition we could use in town?
Yeah.
And then we can put Barrett and who's our other person, Janet? It's Barrett and someone else is our representative. You know, Lois?
Cataldo?
I don't think I think it's Lori. Is it Lori?
think it's
Anyway,
Cataldo and Barrett.
Okay,
Yeah, I know Cataldo.
okay, it's Barrett. So we
Those
just,
are the ones that hang out and show up at things.
yeah. Good, excellent. Well, that sounds like really shaping it up. I'm wondering if I have 2 clipboards, so maybe we could have like 3 copies that people sign. So we're not all, if we can distribute it along the table.
Okay.
Yeah, I mean, I think the least amount of work possible is a good idea, and the most that's connected in with other organizations that are already, worded it correctly and know what the latest bills that are in the works. That would be good.
Yes, some towns have started it. I saw somebody, but did I write it down or did I remember it? Of course not.
Mm-hmm.
But
Do
yeah,
you know who we could contact to get the petition?
that's what I said. I don't remember. I didn't write it down. What's new? But I was just one of those things. I was looking for something else, and I said, "Oh my goodness, they've got, they're starting to work in that direction." And it's not
Okay.
one of the towns I usually think of. That's like I said, I don't know. If I come across it again, I will let Leah know.
Yeah, and
All
my goal this weekend is to sit down and do some Googling around and pull something together.
Yeah.
Well, I don't want you to have to be doing,
So why don't we hear from Janet? So because she said she's got to go.
yeah, let's, like, I think I have not heard back from Mark.
Yeah.
So Janet, what do you have for us?
Okay, I have some photographs that I took a week or 2 ago at Mark's house when he had a tick tube making party. So I've shown them to Isabel, and we refined our choices because I took multiple ones. One picture shows little cardboard tubes and cotton. They're toilet tissue cardboard tubes. And the next one shows somebody poking the cotton into the tube. And the third one is spraying the permethrin into the tube. So, and then I have the pamphlet that comes with the tick tubes that I buy has some nice drawings about mice and shows them scurrying off to get their cotton and put it in their nest and so on. So I thought I would try to make up a board or, a poster kind of thing that would display that information so that people would know whether they made them or bought them. Here's how you distribute them, and this is how it works. And I've also done a little research and talked to Nick Dorian. Thank you, Isabel, for the reference. He's a Tufts graduate student, PhD student, who is a specialist in a particular ground nesting bee. And I was able to answer the question, what is the effect of tick tubes on on ground nesting bees? Because the mice will take the cotton out of the tick tubes and line their nest. And the concern is that some ground nesting bees take over old mouse nests, and that permethrin is specific to insects and arachnids and could be a problem for them. So the short answer is most bees in New England, or in Massachusetts anyway, dig their own nests. Bumblebees do take over old mouse nests, but they take over many other things as well, like crevices and rocks and, between boards and in sheds and that sort of thing. And then the half-life of permethrin is short enough that it's probably pretty much gone by the time the mouse gets in. The bee gets in, because it's because the bee will come out and the bee will look for a nest in the spring. And so it's months later. So anyway, I sent that around to a couple people. Nobody gave me a hard time. It seems to be pretty good information. So I think what I will do is, if people ask me that, if it comes up, I will explain it. I don't think, I mean, I've only had that question a few times. Mostly it's like, what are these? How do they work?
Yeah.
I think most people are at that level, and I don't see the reason to complicate things unnecessarily. The other question I've gotten is about birds. If a bird eats the mouse, is it a problem? And the answer is no, because the permethrin is on their nesting material, lining their nest. It's not on them. It's like you putting on permethrin treated clothing. It kills the ticks that would get on you. And but it doesn't soak into you. So that's not a problem. And there's no harm to the owl or the fox or whatever would eat the mouse. So
Great.
everybody happy?
Yes, very
Okay.
happy.
Great.
Yeah.
Okay, so the only question I have is on what kind of paper or cardboard or whatever will I mount these pictures and display them? Because we have one 8-foot table, but I guess we're going to look for an easel or something like that.
Yeah, I'll ask Ellen about the easel, and also I'll bring my music stand. Lois, are you gonna do a NOMO poster for the table?
Yeah.
You stepped aside, so I don't know.
Isabel, we might not need to figure this out until say 5 days ahead. If it looks like it's going to be good weather and we're outside,
Yeah,
that's one set of, if we end up being indoors at the high school, chances are we can just tape them up to the wall.
right. So
And-
Lois, are you gonna do a poster for NOMO, May?
I think I have to look and see what, well, I guess if the one that's still on the thing is the fall one.
Well, that one's fine, because we should leave the leaves. That's what NOMO
Yeah.
May is about.
Okay, I have one that's still set up, but I didn't think it was the spring one. I think it
Okay.
was the more fall one, but I'll look.
So I'm trying to figure out what's gonna be on the table, because
Yeah, I've
Marco
got the two.
with lots of paper.
I've got the
So-
two small easels that, sit are
Okay.
table easels. And one side is corkboard and the other side is whiteboard. The corkboard is the one I usually use the
Could Janet use
posters on.
the corkboard for how many photos? How many pieces of paper?
Well, I have 3 photos and I haven't taken apart the little pamphlet with the mouse yet, so I'm not sure what I'm going to do with that. But I'm flexible at this point because I haven't figured it out.
Okay, so that probably would work if you can spare that, Lois.
Well, I mean, I got the two of them so that we'd have them.
Okay,
Because, I mean, it's just, they seem like they were, I'll have to let you know the size.
well, how about if I pick it up and drop it off at Janet's, or Janet can pick it up or something?
Yeah, sure.
Janet, Lois lives at Everett Gardens, just down the street from me. Do you want me to pick it up and I'll leave it at my side door?
Yeah, that would be convenient. Then I can
Okay.
pick it up. Just send me a text and tell me when to pick it up.
Okay,
And I'll track down, I gave some things to Wilson Kerr, and I want to get the little pamphlet back from him. So I will figure that out.
okay, I'll get that from you, probably, maybe,
Well, Janet, if she's coming, just go to your place. You could come here just as easily and pick it up off the bench here.
well, whatever you guys want to work out, you two
Yeah.
discuss it.
I know whatever's easy.
I don't know where you are in Everett Gardens. I know exactly where Isabel is.
All right, you just drive in at 34 Everett Street all the way to the end. I'm on the right, last
Okay, so you're
farthest place on
34
the
Everett
left.
Street.
Yep, that's Everett
Okay.
Gardens,
Whoops.
all the way up, all the way to the end.
What's your apartment?
My apartment number is 10, building number is 10, and B is the apartment.
Okay, well,
And it's all the way in on the right. It's a gray building, and on the far side,
see, you've
next-
already lost me now. For one thing, I don't
Jan-
even have your address in
Not good
here.
with directions is what I know, because I know Janet. That's why I,
okay,
No
all right, you
Janet,
said
but,
it all. Okay,
she's got me
pick
lost
it
too
up at
many.
Isabel's. Okay, I got it.
Okay, well, just give me your
Okay.
address while we're here, though. It's 34 what?
Everett Street, apartment 10B is in boy. Size of
Apartment
building, boy.
10B, 10B, okay.
Okay,
Yeah, I can swing by tomorrow afternoon. I'm pulling invasives in the morning.
okay, Isabel. Gotta dig it out, but it's there.
Okay,
And what do you want? Do you need push pins? What are you gonna need, Janet? Push pins?
Oh, I have plenty of push pins. I might just tape it on.
Okay, but just be careful that, I think the
Or,
push pins will go better on the corkboard side.
oh, if it's cork? Oh, okay. Yeah, you're right.
And I can, okay, I have enough
But
flannel.
I have plenty of push pins, and I'm gonna wait and see if it's gonna rain anyway. If we're at the high school, it's,
Well, is
it's
that,
different.
I mean, okay, just in the past few minutes, the first time I've heard about the high school,
Well, if it rains, we're not gonna be on the library lawn. They're probably gonna put us in the high school cafeteria.
Oh, you know that? I mean, it's, because like,
Yes, I know that.
okay, because
Laura
sometimes,
Davis told me so.
all right, no, I mean, sometimes they just like don't do it.
No, they're gonna do it. There's too
Okay.
much involved. Okay.
oh,
Sounds good to me. Isabel, to pick up. Oh,
so Janet, do you want a couple of toilet rolls and cotton and the spray not to actually do, but to demonstrate with?
No, I mean, if I had any spray, it would just be water, but I don't see the point.
Okay,
Because they can see it in the picture. And if there's only 8, if we have one table, it sounds, I don't want to take up all the space. Or,
gotcha.
even a good chunk of the real estate. Sounds like there's more important stuff. The pictures tell 1,000 words, and it's redundant to have the actual objects.
Okay,
I will need a little space because I'll have a box of tick tubes, or I will have a box that tick tubes came in, and I will have a tick tube.
okay, that sounds good. I think I would also just have the cotton and the, oh, never mind. That's fine, whatever you
Oh,
want to do.
I can do it. I have the stuff at home. I can
Right.
just bring a spray bottle and
Yeah.
show people. But anyway, I'll one good thing to know is how much space would I have? I don't want to take up all the space.
Well, I think you can count on, 2 feet.
Don't you have that felt panel that's got,
Yeah,
no.
I have a felt panel, but I'm not sure where that's gonna fit in with the table.
okay. Okay.
So I'm really just not sure. It might be something that we hang down and the kids, I don't know, that's sort of a tricky one, whether we put it behind us on the ground, at a separate area. Because I think what they're gonna do is just line us up, right,
Yeah.
table to table to table. And then they'll have a kids activity area. So we'll see. When I look at the minutes that Mark sent, Lois, it sounds like you're doing the
I'm not doing painting that I know
Okay.
of.
Yeah, I don't either. I agree with that on that. Were you still gonna try and find the big parade?
Yeah, I talked to, I emailed back and forth with Cece. They just have a big ant, was the only insect that they have.
Yeah, but we don't need to do that.
Okay, that's what I wanted before I went any further with them. So,
Right.
okay, no ant.
And so I'll bring the mosquito dunk bucket with straw. And then I also have the Xerxes. In case Stan doesn't come through, I'll just be a backup on backyard spraying from Xerxes. And I also will list the active ingredients that we have to be concerned about.
When we talk about neonics, the thing is that there's like a dozen different names that the neonics go under. Usually it doesn't say they have neonics. They say the other name. So like,
so I got a big list of, I've got those off of
you got a translation.
Wilson's Kern's slides. I've got all of those, the pesticides and the herbicides that are harmful.
Okay. And then it said that I'm supposed to do something about what the Pollinator group does.
Well, that must have been your idea. So whatever you want to do with it.
I don't know. That's I don't have notes. I have notes from the last time, but I don't have notes of what that.
Yeah, I'm not sure there's a whole lot there. Maybe just a sign that we are, well, but
who we are. Okay.
Yeah,
who we are.
Who we are.
Oh yeah, pins or tags.
Oh, name tags. Oh, wait, yeah, I forgot about that. Name tags. Who wants to do name tags?
Sorry, I had like a list the last meeting. I can try to look into maybe some reusable, the ones that you can like slide a card into.
That would be great. Okay. So Leah, you're on for name tags.
Yes, forgot.
Thank you. Yeah, okay. It was over my head. And then I don't think Mark has to worry about the town Wi-Fi.
No.
And I'll be in touch with Laura Mills about planting. There's another Laura. I booked us officially with the Cooler Concord people, so that it's clear that we want a table. So I guess those are the minutes from last week. The old business. That was the old business.
Yeah, sound like you got it all. But is Steve doing anything with us or not?
Well, I don't know. They have a big talk next day after tomorrow at the library.
Yeah, Thursday night, yeah.
Yeah, I've got a conflict, so I don't think I'm gonna get there. Yeah, I don't know. I don't know what's up with Steve.
Yeah, okay.
Didn't assign him anything, so.
Yeah, no.
And he hasn't responded, so I don't know.
Is he officially on our team, on the Pollinator group?
Yes, he's the representative.
Okay, he's the liaison, but is he? I didn't know. I get mixed up who does what. Thank you.
The other thing that has come up is attending these chairs breakfasts. So once a month, the different committee chairs all meet for breakfast with the select board chair. who is Henry Dane, and I don't know if he got elected today or not, but reelected, but he has asked for a pollinator plot in his backyard. So I don't know if anybody is interested in helping to plan that, but I did write to him and ask him, to take a look at the area and see what he's thinking of. And then we'll have to figure out, or I will have to figure out, since I'm the one he's asked. But if there's interest, I need to actually push him on that. So I need to look him up.
Yeah, he's our neighbor.
Yes.
His backyard abuts the property here.
Exactly.
The property like more towards Peter Vulteville.
Mm-hmm.
And well, the interesting thing I was going to ask too is that here they plowed they like did there was like a big sort of pile where they kept putting leaves and leaves and leaves, and they kind of plowed it and cleaned it up, and they want to plant it here too. And I was going to ask about that.
Where is that located?
It's behind building 11. The building, like when you come up to my building, and then you head, like there's the fence right after my building, that in the path is a piece of fence there. If you walk up the fence, in the back corner there, and it's like it's almost Tricon's property. I'm not sure it actually hits Tricon's property, but it's a corner behind the Scout House.
I know where you mean. Okay.
Yeah, and maybe I did call you Sunday when the fence made me think somebody walked here, and I thought it was you. Did you walk through here on Sunday?
A week ago.
Yeah, okay. It was your backside that I saw by when you get to the trash barrel. That was why I called you.
Okay.
Okay.
All right.
Now talk about not remembering anything, but I don't know exactly what they're doing. I know that was mentioned, possibly that part of pollinator garden in that corner.
Okay.
I haven't been back there to see what it looks like now. At one point there was barbed wire in the piles. As far as I know, they got that all cleared out.
Okay. I know I was a little bit pushy on the agenda here, but I know everybody is busy lives.
No, thanks, Isabel, because we need to move. So who's going to the Cheers breakfast this month? You?
I don't know. I don't know when it is. When is it?
It's usually what, the third Wednesday,
Oh, okay.
I think is when it.
So this is not the third. This is the second, isn't it?
Already. Yeah. And Mark seems to think, I keep telling him the one Wednesday I went was just my home health aide had an appointment and I was available. I'm not usually available on Wednesday mornings. But if I knew ahead of time, I can usually reschedule my home health aide. But I have to know quite a bit ahead to do that.
Well, it's really up to him since he's the chair.
Yeah.
No, we'll leave
But
that.
I mean, I did have that conversation with him so that you kind of know. He's asked me several times. I said, like, no, I'm not available.
Yeah, I'm available. I can do it.
Yeah. I think you're good doing it because you know a lot of the people that are there in the groups.
No, I actually don't know a lot of people, but they all come up to me after they had this long thing about the budget and everybody's budget and this. And so and I had told them I had to leave early because I had another meeting I needed to go to. And so when I came to my turn, I said, we have no budget. We would benefit from a couple of $100. Have no budget. So everybody laughed and got into it. So.
Oh, that's a good one. I was going to say, I was wondering how envious anybody could be of our budget.
What? Yeah.
I said,
So, I mean, I actually that's where I met Elizabeth Cobbs. Liz Cobbs is at the chair of breakfast, and she has a teenage son who drinks a lot of milk, so I got a lot of milk jugs out of her.
Oh.
So.
Oh, that's funny. But like you seem to know how to network a lot of the people, so that's always been good. Thanks.
Okay. I don't know. Leo, do you have other things on your mind regarding, what we've talked about or what we haven't talked about?
No, I guess, is there another meeting? Because these meetings only happen like
Once
once
a
a
month.
Month.
So this is the meeting, yes.
one before.
This is it.
That's
So
why I was like, let's make it as simple as possible for Leah, because it's 2 weeks until it's a week and a half until the event. And also, I mean, we don't need to make whatever already has been established. And one of the things that came up at the chairs breakfast was there was a whole discussion about putting in regulation zoning for something. And it wasn't that it was the conservation about having things LEED certified. And Berkeley had put that in as a requirement for their town in California, and it got shot down by the Ninth Circuit court because you couldn't target just natural gas, that was being preferential. So you couldn't say you're not able to build with natural gas. So I think, the more we can standardize what somebody else has tested for a petition, the better off we are. Just the wording and everything else, because there are enough lawyers in Concord that'll take a challenge on it.
LEED certification.
That was just something else, but it was pretty much an example of how the specific wording of how you say it can get it shot down.
Yeah. The LEED certification is like many levels. Like,
yeah,
what are we looking for? Like native plants?
No, the petition that Leah's doing is to support the bills that are protecting pollinators, right?
Mm-hmm.
I mean,
yeah. Ideally, maybe a town ban on like the neonics.
By landscapers, because it's already statewide.
The state already has a ban for
consumers, but we need landscapers.
I need to go look again and make sure there's nobody snuck some back this year. Mm-hmm. Take a look around, see if there's any hanging out. Yeah, because any of the commercial growers can use them.
Okay. And
training.
Leah, do you have a copy of Wilson Kerr's talk?
I'm not sure. Was a copy sent out?
I think I sent it, but maybe I can resend it. And maybe that would be helpful to everybody.
Yeah, that would be good, Isabel. He had a couple things that I didn't quite understand, or like they kind of like hit me like, oh, is that true, or is that the right? And it just might be my understanding of what he said. And I didn't take notes that day. I was just like, I rolled in in the morning. So I don't, and he went kind of fast, so it might have been just I didn't catch all the pieces. And it was interesting. Mark's comment was interesting, and I would kind of go along with it. He goes, that's the difference, because Mark asked some questions, and this is the difference between a salesman and an engineer. I mean, and that was Wilson's things were definitely on the sales pitch, kind of, in my estimation too.
Okay.
That sounds like a joke. What's the difference between a salesman and an engineer.
Well, basically, engineer is usually very fact oriented. Not
Salesmen aren't.
necessarily. I mean, that's supposedly,
Okay.
they measure everything, and everything is like, whereas the salesperson is a little bit, well, more colorful. and-
Somebody who finds out what you want and then tells you that they can solve your problem because you're so deficient.
I didn't say that, but that sounds good to me.
That's yeah, that's yeah, that's my opinion.
Well, there's a different mindset.
Yeah,
So that's all. And Wilson to me is much more of a salesperson. And that's because he gets on a roll about some things, and I just like, I think we've been pretty careful to dot every I and cross every T in our group, because the people who seem to be involved longer than I have had faced some tough questions. So that's all.
I listened. I didn't listen to all of his presentation, but I sampled it here and there, and I read through his slides carefully. And I've heard him talk. His articles are written for at the 6th grade level because he wants to be accessible to kids, middle school and high school kids, and he wants to be accessible to adults who are not trained in that area, who don't necessarily
Yeah.
have come to his articles with a background in ecology. I had some concerns. I looked carefully to see if he was giving information that was factual. A couple years ago, I gave him a hard time about pesticides versus herbicides and how you use those words.
Yeah.
But he cited something that put that to rest. Anyway, I think he does a good job, and I think
Oh, yeah.
even though I have a jaundiced view of salespeople sometimes, or the whole whole enterprise of selling you things, I think I would think of him more as an enthusiastic educator. And you really, if you're going to work with a group who's not academic and not, you have to be kind of a bit of a showman. Teachers usually are. So anyway, I generally think he's done a pretty good job, and I'm very happy he's on
Oh,
board.
yeah.
I-
Oh, yeah. I didn't mean to say that. I think it might have been, it's interesting. You mentioned the CIDE ending things. I believe that's exactly where one of the things that I went like, what's that?
Mhm.
My understanding was different than my.
Well, I print out
hearing.
the slides that are pertinent to us.
Okay.
And I'd like it to be a handout so that people will actually use it. Maybe Mark can make a QR code for some of this. I'll ask Mark.
Oh, yeah, that's an idea. I forget about that because I don't do that so well.
Because that might be the best way to get people to have the ingredients to talk about.
Yeah.
Because that's what people say is, how do I know what it is? And I say, you ask your landscaper exactly what they're putting down and compare it to this list.
It's interesting, in the front of the Fedco catalog, you had a whole thing about dropping anything that is related to Surgentia. And I couldn't find all this stuff online, but they supposedly have a whole thing online where they researched the different companies that have merged, because there's lots of merging, and some of the names, like, you don't see the Monsanto name like you used to because of the merge. And
yeah, I mean, they're hiding their names all over the place.
right, yeah, I was surprised. I get the federal catalog for a while, and all of a sudden I decided to read the front of it, and I was like, that they had quite a article about Surgentia and why they weren't including any of the Surgentia projects, any products and seeds that were treated by them or any of their things. And some of it they're kind of biting the bullet because they really don't have a precise replacement for what they were using and liked. So it was kind of interesting to read that they're willing to kind of go out on a bit of a limb until they get everything that they need. Mostly they've contacted apparently local farmers and gotten seeds from them as much as they can. So I thought that was we're like, whoa.
Yeah, if you can share that, that would be great. I don't get their catalog anymore.
Yeah,
I haven't ordered from them for a long time.
yeah.
That's great. I'd love to see that.
Yeah, I wanted to find the piece if I don't find it in the next day or so, I'm going to call them actually and see if I can get a copy and get permission that we could use some of their research, because that's important now, because the merging is so wild that
Right.
the names, are buried. And the products are buried too. And I don't know if they've changed names of the products. That would be interesting to find out, because there's so many different names for the same product or similar products, or that kind of that family of products.
Okay.
I think we're good.
Anything else?
No, okay. So tomorrow.
So anybody needs any help, reach out, text, email, call. If I don't answer, I'm usually in a meeting. Or I'm in the mud. I'm gonna be in the mud tomorrow.
What are you doing in the mud?
Pulling buckthorn over at Gowing Swamp.
Oh, wow.
Yeah.
Whoa. Wow.
And a garlic mustard on at Harrington Trail. So
when's that, tomorrow too?
Yeah.
Oh, wow. I
Jeff,
don't think I know what garlic mustard even looks like.
Oh, I'll show you.
are you pulling with anyone else or?
Ellen Quackenbush said she'd come over and give me a hand.
Oh, nice.
You want to come to Harrington?
What time?
Oh, it's going to be in the afternoon. We haven't set a time. I can text you if you want to join us.
I mean, I usually, it's hard for me to get away from work, but if you guys are ever around noon or earlier later in the day, I could try to.
Okay. It won't be later in the day because I have orchestra at night, so I have to clean up. And I don't want to. Well, I don't mind smelling like garlic, but I don't want to have mud on my instrument. Yeah, no, we're going to start. I've got a whole area that is first seedling sprouts of garlic mustard. So I'm going to cultivate that, and I'm going to also collect the bigger ones that are there.
Yeah, I love pulling invasives, and I haven't seen Ellen in a while, so it'd be always great to see Ellen. So if there's future invasive pullings,
I've got a lot of invasive pulling at Harrington. I can tell you, it's full of it. It's the buckthorns, unbelievable, and now I've got some knotweeds that I'm got to clip. So yeah. Okay, I will.
If you give me a call, I'd like to know what some of it looks like. I won't be too good at pulling, but and do you need any tools?
No, don't need any tools. Thank you.
Okay.
Yeah,
If you
I'm
need
good
tools
on.
ever, give me a shout, because I do have a kind of a collection of stuff.
My niece gave me this whole garden toolkit. So it's got everything in it. I mean, she was just
nice.
Yeah. So yeah, I'll text you and see what I'll see when we go. Okay, that would be fun.
I'd like to see.
All right, anybody move to adjourn?
I move to adjourn.
Second. Okay. All right, everybody in favor? See ya.
Thanks, Isabel. Thanks, everybody.